Miroslav Skorик was a world-famous contemporary composer, musicologist, conductor, and pianist. Skorик was born in Lviv in 1938 into a creative and musical family. He was the great-nephew of Solomia Krushelnitska, one of the brightest opera stars of the first half of the 20th century. It was she who identified his talent for music early on, as well as his perfect pitch. Her piano for vocal lessons was tuned half a tone lower, and 6-year-old Miroslav declared that he wouldn't play it because it was out of tune. In 1948, when Soviet repression intensified, young Skorik and his family were deported to Siberia. After Stalin's death, Skorik was finally permitted to return to Lviv in 1955, where he studied composition at the Mykola Lysenko Lviv National Music Academy. In 1963, he completed postgraduate studies at the Moscow Conservatory. At the age of 25, Skorik became the youngest professor at the Lviv Conservatory. In the 60s, he was the leader of a group of composers known as New Folklore Wave. In the early 90s, he toured the United States and Australia. He lived and worked in Australia between 1996 and 1998 before returning home to Ukraine. His style evolved from the New Folklore Wave to neoclassical, neo-romantic, and postmodern. His later works can be described as a harmonious unity of different stylistic elements. Skorik was also known for his film soundtracks. In 1965, he combined neo-folk music with Carpathian motifs for the legendary film Shadows of Forgotten Ancestors, directed by Sergei Parajanov, which is considered to be the most internationally acclaimed Ukrainian film in history and a classic of Ukrainian magical realist cinema. The 1981 film High Pass proved particularly challenging because the script could be perceived by some as steeped in an ideology that they disagreed with. A number of musicians turned down the opportunity to work on the score, but Skorik stepped up to the challenge. He composed a soundtrack that generates a powerful subtext for the film. "My melody in A minor," he said, "is suitable for any kind of experience: injustice, compassion, hope. I've had cases when music could say more than words and actions, and this music said more than the plot of the film." The composer died in 2020. His last work is a piece called I'm With You, written in March at the very beginning of the pandemic. It's an expression of solidarity with medical workers of China and is also dedicated to the victims of the COVID-19 pandemic.